Prophet Yahweh, he says things that are offensive. There's no getting around it. What are some of the things he says? They're just wrong. And he's anti-gay. He's anti-homosexual. He's against the homosexual act that he isolates. And he gets into detail as well. He talks very specifically about sexual acts that he disagrees with. I think that the way a lot of these things work, a lot of these interviews, the way it works is that you're panning for gold. You're listening out for some things that make sense and other bits don't make so much sense. I think that's how the internet in general works. You take some of it on board, other bits you leave to one side. It's the nature of the beast. It is actually how human beings listen to the radio, but because of the way in which the radio is set up, the broadcast media is licensed, you can't ever acknowledge that. You have to pretend that everything you say is gold and it's all, makes complete sense. Look, what I'm saying to you is that some of what he says is interesting and other bits, discount it if you want, or I don't know, it's up to you. You deal with it however you want, but I'm just warning you, it is potentially offensive, some of this stuff. So, in all seriousness, bear that in mind on one level. Secondly, I've always assumed that this show would be boring to anyone under the age of at least 20, surely. However, if you are under the age of, what would it be, maybe 18, don't listen to this podcast. I've tried to label it explicit. It is too rude for you if you're under the age of 18. Like I say, I've got no evidence whatsoever that anyone under the age of 18 is listening. That's a potential headache if that's the case, and if you are, not this one. Don't listen to it. Don't listen to any of them, really. It's too... this is grown-up stuff. Get out. Go and do your homework. I think that covers the ground. I toyed with the idea, actually, of getting a friend of mine in who's gay to say, that old thing that people do where they go, oh, some of my best friends. That's not going to work. I can't do that. That would just be silly. So... here we go. An interview with Prophet Yahweh. Don't go thinking that I endorse what he says. And the reason, incidentally, that I don't get down and challenge him is because as soon as he said it, we were recording it for broadcast on a radio station. And I thought, well, we might not use this. Or if we do use it, we're editing that bit out. I think we did. Yeah, we did use it in the end, but we just edited that stuff out. Maybe that's a more controversial decision, if you think about it. I'll give you some words at the end.
This is the Cult of Nick.
Brilliant. Okay. Listen, I'm going to do an interview with you now about all this stuff, UFOs and being a prophet and the whole shebang, and you can tell me what's happening, and quite interesting stuff. So let me look here. I've got a clip as well of the news when you were on ABC News, and we're going to use that clip as well. Maybe we'll talk about that. Okay. Okay. Is Prophet Yahweh? Is that Is that your name? Is that the right name?
Yes, that's my legal name, Prophet Yahweh.
Okay, no worries. It's Kerrang Radio. It's the night before. My name's Nick Margerrison. Hello and welcome to the show. In America, there's been a bit of a storm recently with a guy whose name is Prophet Yahweh. And he claims that he can summon UFOs. And what's interesting is that he was recently featured on the mainstream media news doing exactly what he claimed, summoning UFOs. Have a listen to this.
UFOs.
That's right, and there is a Las Vegas guy making an extraordinary claim about extraterrestrials. So we sent Action News reporter Mike Delastrito to check it out. Mike?
All right, guys, just listen up here. This guy says the Old Testament, written in Hebrew, taught him how to summon UFOs. All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing it for 25 years, keeping all of it secret until now.
These beings are here. They're here. They're just sitting right up there.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, Seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. We picked the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts.
Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think?
I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now, so we took him up on his offer, and we scanned the skies. Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, O Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I think something straight up.
Oh, brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it.
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
Wow, so that's a very weird thing. You started praying and along came a UFO.
Correct.
So do you want to tell us about that? What's the situation with that?
Well, I learned how to do it from the Bible in the Old Testament. You know, a lot of people argue with me and they say that there are no spaceships and UFOs in the Bible. Of course, the Bible does not use the word spaceships and UFOs, but they describe wheels within a wheel and chariots of Yahweh and the clouds of heaven, the stars of Bethlehem, as being vehicles that angels can land in or flying machines that they can guide people with, as it was with the wise men who followed the star or flying machine to the manger. And so it does not say spaceships and UFO, but it describes them.
So what you're saying is that belief in Yahweh, is that right? I don't understand. So you're going along, you're praying, and then UFOs are arriving above you. That's not. I don't understand. I don't understand.
Well, the thing about it is this. See, the forces of evil who control what the masses of the people think on Earth have deceived all of humanity into thinking, as well as false religions have deceived humanity into thinking that the Creator and His angels are spirit beings, but that is not true. The Creator and His angels are superhuman men. We were made from their DNA mixed with dirt. And the thing about it is that Yahweh and His angels, the Creator of all things, and His angels are superhuman men who live on other planets, travel around the universe in spaceships, and the angels always came to the earth to reveal the future to the prophets who would tell the people, and the angels would get back in these clouds of heaven and go back up until they came back the next time. So people think that I am lying, but in the Bible, both Old and New Testaments, just about every encounter that people had with angels, they were always men, and they were men who had landed in heavenly craft. But you would not know it because organized religion got the world tricked. And in the Bible, you have two concepts blended into one. That's strange. I know how that sounds. But you have a couple of verses at 2 Corinthians 3:17, John 4:24, that says that the Creator and His angels are spirits. But you got over 100 and something places says that they're superhuman and describes them as such. So the reason why the masses are deceived is because the preachers in the pulpit, they only teach from those two verses that says they're spirits. But smart people who read the Bible for themselves, they see that this is not true, that the angels and Yahweh live on other planets with beautiful cities and advanced technology, and they're coming to the earth.
So, listen, are you I'm just going to ask you a lot of questions here. You can just give me your answers, right? I mean, are you like a cult leader? Is that what you are? I don't understand.
No, see, I don't have any real followers. People listen to me, see, so I'm not even classified as an organization to be labeled a cult. But the cults, the true cults, are organized religion. See, the biggest worldwide religions are the real cults. Now, you have smaller cults, but what I'm talking about is deeply rooted in biblical scriptures, and I'm not talking about anything new. But I get labeled a cult figure because I challenge organized religions. I challenge the people who have deceived humanity into thinking that the Creator and His angels are spirits when they are not. So they label me a cult.
So, I mean, one of the things, obviously, that will make you more credible in your own eyes is that you can pray and UFOs apparently turn up. I mean, that's one thing. But, I mean, other than that, what makes you think that you're right and that they're all wrong?
Well, see, you have thousands of different religions and spirituality on earth. The question is, which one is true, since they can't all be right? You know, I mean, all of them have opposing doctrines and spiritual beliefs, and all of them claim to be the way for the salvation of the soul, but they claim to be the true way for everlasting life. Now, the question is, which one is true? There are two main points that let you know which one is true. First of all, the Creator is intelligent, living, and able to respond. See? And the true religion has always been based on aerial phenomena. In other words, the Creator will respond, or His angels will respond on His behalf by appearing in the craft, in the ships. That's how you know, when you start dealing directly with them, that you have the true way. All other religions are static. They are just doctrine, and they have no history, and they produce nothing outside the human box of capability. But the true way produces an interaction between you and the Creator. So I am actively involved in proving to people that I am the one they should listen to, and not any of these ignorant, dumb dog, dirty preachers and child molesting, filthy priests. They should listen to me. Forget all the others who have no signs and no proof that they are communicating with the Creator. Why listen to these fools?
Because I mean, that's one of the things. I mean, you know, that's quite a party trick, being able to kind of pray and then UFOs turn up. That's quite impressive.
Yeah, well, see, that's the way it's always been in the Bible. You can see where Moses and Aaron prayed in Numbers, the 20th chapter, 6th verse, and angels start appearing in the clouds of heaven or landing. You can see in Numbers, the 12th chapters, where the angel in the cloud of heaven got upset when a power play by Moses' brother Aaron and his sister Miriam threatened to overthrow the leadership of the people coming out of Egypt. And the angel called all of them out to an open area near the tabernacle, and he came down in the pillar of the cloud, got out, stood before them all in the presence of the entire congregation, and put Miriam and Aaron in their place. Then the angel got back in the cloud, and the cloud went back up and continued guiding the people to the promised land. So, you know, I looked at how Daniel and Ezekiel and all of them were able to summon or call down these extraterrestrial craft with beings in them, see. So, and I just went out. Well, first I learned how they did it, what the methodology is that they used, and from the very first time I tried it, it happened. and it keeps happening. And not only that, I teach people how to do it. A number of people throughout the earth have, went to my YouTube site and, or emailed me, and just some people have never contacted me until they were able to summon just by mimicking what I do. And these people contact me, be it students who I teach or people who I did not know of, and they tell me, and they post their videos of the UFOs that appear for them, that my methodology works. I can teach your listeners how to do the same thing, and you will be able to go out and call them down as well if you do it right.
So what is how do you do it?
Well, basically, when you go to my YouTube site, and the name of the channel is UFO TV News, just go to youtube.com/ UFO TV News, and you look at that ABC footage, you see the perfect example. Like the example that worked for me in helping me make broadcast history as the first person to call down a real UFO for a television station. And in that example, all I did is spoke to the Creator. I called on the name Yahweh, and I asked him to send the sighting. It's just that simple. The methodology is simple. There's no secret or no deep rituals or anything like that. The Creator is quick to respond, but only to those that come at him in the right way. And I teach people the right way. He doesn't want homosexuals calling on him because in his mind, they are perverted. He doesn't want men who wish to take their penises and put it up the anus or rectum of other men and release that holy substance in their bowel, calling on him. To him, they are demonic. He will forgive them if they turn away from that madness. But he does not want people who are homosexuals contacting him. He does not want men or women that are child molesters, serial rapists. He doesn't want evil, what they consider wicked people contacting them. They just don't answer.
So if
they don't want men who take their penis and put it in other women's mouth and release that holy substance in their mouth where it's digested by the sperm, contacted them. This is sexual perversion. It's sin. It's evil. But the powers that be in this world want us to think that it's perfectly acceptable.
Right. So if it were the case that someone were to go out and call for UFOs, if they've ever had oral sex with a woman, or if they've ever had homosexual sex with a man, or anything else, then UFOs won't arrive. But
see, I used to do those things. I am an ex-homosexual, an ex-sexual pervert. I had an S on my chest and a cape on my back. I was a super freak, but I never wore tights. And the thing about it is that I repented. I found out that the world has shown me that a man is supposed to be having a lot of women throughout his life. That's whoredom. The world had me thinking that, I was supposed to be involved in oral sex. Man, I used to give head and take head and wouldn't even know the girl's name. And so, I've been involved with men when I was younger, and I found out that this is evil. This is of the devil. And I being an ex-homosexual, I can speak and say that is wrong, and nobody can say anything to me because I'm not attacking being an ex-homosexual. I am revealing that it's nasty, it's filthy, and anybody that performs anal and oral sex are agents of the devil. They are performing satanic sex. And these beings don't want sexual perverts who are actively involved in it contacting them.
Right.
Because
Yeah, so
but if you repent, if you say, wait a minute, man, common sense tells me that my penis is not supposed to go in a woman's mouth, and it's not supposed to go up another man's booty hole. You know, common sense should tell you that, but a spell is cast by society, and you give in to it. And then when you say, wait a minute, man, this ain't right, this ain't natural, this ain't the way it's supposed to be, and you pray and ask for forgiveness and never do that mess again, then as time go on, you can develop a wholesome relationship with the Creator where He'll answer you.
Right, and then at that point, if you go out and ask for UFOs, they'll arrive.
Yes, and when he sees that you are for real, that you have repented, keep in mind that repented means to turn away from forever. I mean, and you are talking to Him, trusting in Him, and you have apologized and told Him how deeply remorseful you are and is sincere. It's as if you had never done it in His eyes. He will rejoice over you, especially if you had the power of mind to see through the deception in the end. Okay. He will honor you. He will love you, but not while you a faggot, like I was.
Right, okay. So, listen, Prophet Yahweh, you are a prophet. I mean, what are your prophecies? What things do you prophesize?
I prophesize of a wide range of things. I have a group at Yahoo Groups called Future News Events. I sometimes activate it, sometimes I take it offline, but it's back up now, and I prophesy of things that are going to happen in the news before they happen. And recently, a series of my predictions have come to pass at Future News Events at Yahoo Groups. But then also, I'm shown what's going to happen in international affairs. I'm shown what's going to happen in regards to the black people of slave descent in the suffering that's coming. I've been shown the great prophecies of what's preparing to happen and what it's going to be like. I prophesize of the agenda of these beings that's coming in the ship, what they're planning to do. One thing that they're planning to do is this. And in fact, I'll give it to you briefly and in order. But this is the reason why I'm one of the most hated men on the Internet. And there's so much disinformation and misinformation about me, or truth presented out of context. These beings, when they come here, the first thing that they're going to do is, first when they come, they're going to be attacked by the world's armies. And they're going to wipe them out.
So this is UFOs. They're going to come to this planet, and they're going to be attacked by the world's armies.
Yeah, well, spaceships. Okay. See, UFOs are flying machines that remote control, unmanned, that are sent down out of the ships, like torpedoes are sent out of a submarine.
Okay,
but the ships themselves have individuals in it, and when they go, over 20,000 of them are going to land and take over the earth because we're not fit to govern ourselves. We produce only suffering, sickness, and chaos throughout the earth. And they have already started their destabilization of the earth. Over 9,000 scientists have proven recently that global warming could not produce the kind of catastrophes that are taking place on the earth. What humanity does not know that these space beings are causing all of the tsunamis, all of the cyclones that are killing tens of thousands, all of the hurricanes, all of the destruction, all of the abnormalities, and it causing them to occur ever increasingly as each year passes. And nobody's able to see that there's a constant pattern of increase. And they can't understand who these beings are, so how can they understand that alien extraterrestrial beings may be behind or causing the world's catastrophes? But the thing about it is this: when they come, they're going to wipe out the armies because they are attacked. Then they're going to set up a government over the earth that rules over people rules over nations like nations rule over their people. Okay, and then they're going to perform a moral cleansing of the earth. In other words, when you look in scriptures and you see where it says that the time is going to come when you will see no more wicked people, it's a reason why. See, they're coming, and their leader, who many people call the Messiah, who many people think his name is Jesus, is going to come traveling with 20,000 intergalactic battleships. You can see that in Psalms 68:17, Revelations 1 and 7. And it says that when he comes, and Luke 19:27, he's going to gather together all of what is perverse, and he's going to destroy it. Scripture says that when they come, they're going to gather all the murderers, all the child molesters, all the homosexuals. They're going to gather all of your vampires, all of your cannibals, man. They're going to gather all of the vile characters that exist in humanity and put them to death. No one is going to live except those who are trying to be right. And so and so people hate me because I say this, but it's clearly in scriptures, And so what I'm saying is that they're going to make sure that no child is ever raped in the most vicious and vile ways again. They're going to make sure that no man ever goes to bed with another man, no woman ever goes to bed with another woman, and they're going to give us our minds back and get rid of our insanities and heal us of our psychological and emotional addictions and disorders. And they are going to teach us what being real men are like, real women, real husbands, real mothers, and bring a sense of morality and take away all of the world's sickness. No more death, no more suffering. This is something to be happy about.
Blimey! Well, I mean, so that's your. Do you know what? It's been interesting to talk to you, Prophet Yahweh. I imagine it won't be the last time that we talk. I'm sure we'll get you on the show.
Oh, y'all got to go, man?
Again in the future. Well, I mean, I know you're a busy guy.
No. I'm not busy. I'm here as long as you want me, man. What, you don't like me talking about how homosexuality is wrong?
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I think you're cutting me short. Do you think so? No, I'm not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more to ask you.
Okay.
I'm kind of like, I'm wondering what will happen if I go outside and request a UFO.
One may show, one may not, but this is a process you got to work at. But just know that I have my YouTube site for all the world's producers, directors, and journalists, the TV show hosts, and everybody to come and learn more about this. UFO TV News at YouTube.com.
Do you know what, Prophet Yahweh? Great to talk to you, man. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'll be surprised if you all have me back, but if you do, I appreciate it. And are you all really going to air this? Because, man, you're going to start an uproar in England, man, hearing this kind of a message. But thank you for having me anyway.
This is the Cult of Nick.
So there we are. That's Prophet Yahweh and his take on things. And do you see what I mean? Right. So we all know I don't agree with his views on homosexuality or indeed oral sex. I happen to disagree with what he's saying. And I guess, I'm also condemned to be a demon and go to hell because of what he said about oral sex. So, there we are. I told you it was explicit. I warned you. Hopefully you didn't take offence, and that's really not my intent. As I've made clear, this podcast is not about broadcasting, it's about narrowcasting, because you won't believe this, but actually it really goes through me when people get offended by stuff that I do on the radio. I don't know how to deal with it. It upsets me that they've been upset by something that I've said. So I really don't want to do that with the podcast. This is a labour of love. I'm not making any money out of this. I'm doing it for fun. And it'd just be rubbish to offend anyone. So seriously, I have no intent on offending you or being offensive, and that was not my intent. The intent was to explain that in life, if you try and visualise something happening, it doesn't always happen, but it can happen. Now, there's an addendum to this story. What we did on the Kerrang show, there's no need for me to play the audio of it, but what we did on the Kerrang show is we thought, OK, well, let's try it. Let's try and call UFOs. And we got a chap who actually works on Kerrang now, called Jake, and he worked on Kerrang at the time, but he's a bit more prominent nowadays. And he he stood in the backyard and followed Prophet Yahweh's instructions and called UFOs down. And we got him reading bits of the Bible. And he still talks of it to this day as a strange experience. I think it was one of his first major experiences on the air. At the time, the show that we did had the highest audience figures on the station. It was a big show anyway, and it was a lot of exposure for him, and it was very exciting. And he came along and he read out, he did a great job, and he's a very talented broadcaster, and he reads out these things from the Bible, and he still maintains that he saw something. It might have been an aeroplane, he doesn't know, but he was reading from the Bible, he was calling down UFOs, and sure enough, he saw a UFO. That's what he maintains to this day. And I know him personally off air, and I said to him, look, mate, are you joking? Is that like a bit of shtick for the airwaves? And he goes, no, really, probably just an aeroplane or something like that. But I did see something. So there you go. Make of that what you will.